Is a point where we start telling people to come inside and not really do anything strenuous outdoors. Now you're thinking it's just sunshine. How bad could it be? Well, you've heard the two stories about the UPS drivers. That's happening around the state and around the country because this heat is now getting to be dangerous. Now this is going to be for about 2 more days, and then I'm always optimistic. There's a change coming by the end of the week that may be a little bit better for us. We'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. The Salvation Army of Victoria cooling station is open. The station at 1302 North Lewis Street opens when temperatures hit 95 degrees. They've been averaging 10 to 12 people coming in per day to get out of the heat. Bloomington residents are looking to get answers to their questions about the potential incorporation of their community. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting has more on this story. Trenton?
The big topic lately within the small community of Bloomington is the movement to incorporate portions of the town by a nonprofit. The nonprofit is only identified by a number, 87204 EDC Core. We've reached out to their attorneys and have not heard back. Many residents are confused and have a number of questions about this movement. The draft map for the proposed Village of Bloomington did not include many areas of the town and was crooked. Victoria County Judge Ben Zeller says county leaders are investigating this, and the county has taken a step forward by hosting a meeting this Thursday night.
Most folks we talk to aren't opposed to Bloomington being incorporated. The questions they're raising are, why is this only a portion of the community and not the whole community? Why has this been done in quiet behind closed doors, in the shadows, rather than being a public discussion, as these things should be? Who are the interests in the individuals pushing for this?
Judge Zeller encourages anyone interested in the future of Bloomington to attend a town hall this Thursday. It takes place inside St. Patrick's Catholic Church, located past the railroad tracks on Highway 185. Doors open at 6 p.m. Every county commissioner is expected to attend, and representatives from the sheriff's office also plan to attend. Judge Zeller says despite the rather aggressive move to incorporate, the plans did not mention how the newly incorporated area would implement city services like water, fire protection, and police. The move to incorporate will not make the November ballot since the 13th Court of Appeals determined the petition did not meet the legal requirements. Don, back to you.
Trent, thank you. And here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Here's the question. Do you plan to attend the Bloomington Town Hall this Thursday night? Yes or no? We thank you for voting, and we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we will have an update on 25 News Now at 6. DeWitt County deputies arrested a 40-year-old man. Michael Brose is charged with the murder of 57-year-old Kenneth Dixon of San Antonio. On September 12, 2021, Dixon's body was found at an RV park in Cuero. Brose has been in custody since then. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. Lavaca County deputies arrested a man Monday. Tony Lynch faces 2 charges, including assault of a family member, impeding breath or circulation. He is in the Lavaca County Jail in lieu of $100,000 bond. 2 people were killed and another was injured when a small airplane crashed into a residential area in Odessa today. On arrival, police and fire crews encountered several mobile homes and shop buildings engulfed in flames. The aircraft, identified as a single-engine Cessna, the 2 people on board did not survive the crash. Their identities have yet to be released.
We get on scene, we've got multiple buildings burning, a couple trailer houses, a lot of outbuildings, storage buildings that were along the alleyway, and just started our process of mitigating the fires.
The cause of the crash is under investigation. The DPS will take over the investigation and then work with the NTSB and FAA officials. A widow is speaking out after another UPS driver, like her husband, was lost due to the extreme heat. Now she's calling for urgent changes to protect workers.
And I saw the video of that driver plowing into trees. And then, they said it was from the McKinney Center, and my heart just stopped. I spent the entire day yesterday bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe that it was happening again.
Nasa Lambeth's husband, Chris Begley, was a dedicated UPS driver for 28 years.
He showed up to our very first date in his UPS uniform.
But working long hours in trucks with no air conditioning had its impact.
You know, he would literally come home and collapse in the chair for the night every day in the summertime.
Twice, Lambeth said she had to pick him up after he got sick on the job from the heat.
And he was nauseous, he was, not able to continue, he was getting dizzy.
The third time it happened, it was 103 degrees. Lambeth was out of town and discovered he'd been dropped off at home alone.
He was disoriented. He didn't know when he had gotten home. He didn't know how long it had been since he had passed out. He didn't know, he got frustrated for asking too many questions.
Days later, he collapsed and died. UPS was hit with a $66,000 fine after an OSHA investigation found the company failed to ensure Begley had access to medical care. UPS says it's spending more than $409 million a year on heat-related safety training, outfitting its workers in specialized cooling gear, and adding equipment to vehicles and facilities to help protect people from the heat.
They've got to be responsible for frankly, for the safety of the driver.
The employee union, though, has blasted the company for failing to fully implement some of its own protocols. It says the worker who crashed Friday was told to drive back to the facility after he reported feeling sick and vomiting, rather than having help dispatched to his location. UPS says it's still investigating what happened.
The feedback that I've received from some of the drivers have said nothing's changed.
Lambeth says it's time the company do better.
It just got to change. These guys are dying. And families are going through what I've been through in the past year, and it's horrific.
The Democratic National Convention enters its second day after remarks from several Democrat leaders last night. It featured an endorsement from President Biden for his Vice President, Kamala Harris. Local attorney and Democrat John Griffin said that it could have marked a change of guard in the party.
Transitions can be hard, but they're also sometimes good. And I think there was a sense of gratitude for the stability that President Biden brought the country, but also kind of a recognition that it's time for others to hold the torch. Working together, we're always going to be in a better position than if we're at each other's throats and all of us casting aspersions at people just because of their party.
Day 2 is tonight, and former President Barack Obama will be the keynote speaker. Hazmat cleanup crews worked a chemical spill at American Sanitation Supplies in Lavaca County today. A small amount of material leaked onto Industrial Road across from Brema Memorial Stadium. You can read the full article at our website, crossroadstoday.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. Government agencies confirm the role of Iran in presidential campaign hacks. Also ahead, a look at what to expect during Day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. U.S. government agencies issued a joint statement confirming that Iran was behind attempts to hack presidential candidates. Campaigns, rather, comes after former President Donald Trump's claim that his campaign had been hacked earlier this summer. The agency said that, quote, increasingly aggressive Iranian activity, unquote, was observed from the campaigns of President Biden and former President Trump during this election cycle. But Democrat nominee Harris' campaign previously said it had no indication it was hacked. Today is day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. Democrats are focusing on what they say Vice President Kamala Harris can do for the country, while former President Donald Trump and his running mate continue on the campaign trail.
The first day of the Democratic National Convention was filled with energy, tears, and a lot of enthusiasm. A teary-eyed Joe Biden taking the stage to a 4-minute standing ovation. Biden defending his accomplishments in his nearly 4 years in office, but arguing Harris is the best person to finish the job.
She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is. She'll be a president we can all be proud of.
Harris also making a surprise appearance amidst the numerous Democratic speakers from the old guard to new blood.
Looking out at everyone tonight, I see the beauty of our great nation. People from every corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country.
As part of a long-held convention tradition, Democrats will hold a ceremonial roll call of the states here on the floor and celebrate Harris as the nominee. Now, from California, Governor Gavin Newsom will be delivering the delegates needed to put Harris over the top. On the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump countering the convention with a stop today in the Detroit area, focusing on crime. Monday, he was in Pennsylvania talking about the economy.
With your vote, we will unleash explosive economic growth and vast new prosperity for all of our citizens.
Republican Vice President nominee Senator J.D. Vance speaking from Wisconsin, where Vice President Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, will be later tonight.
Kamala Harris is a person who has said that she wants to defund the police. Do we want to defund the police out there?
Democrats say the theme for tonight is envisioning America's future, and they plan on contrasting a Trump presidency and a Harris presidency. Also later tonight, the Obamas will take the stage. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Chicago.
Disgraced former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein will remain in custody in New York, awaiting a retrial on rape and sexual assault charges. Prosecutors say Weinstein was formally arraigned on a governor's warrant, keeping him in New York until his case is resolved. Once completed, he'll return to California to continue serving his 16-year sentence for rape. Weinstein's original Manhattan conviction was overturned by the state's high court, leading to the upcoming retrial tentatively set for November. A warning from the CDC. The agency says it's keeping an eye on rising numbers of human parvovirus cases in the U.S.
It's called parvovirus B19. Early this year, health officials in more than a dozen European countries reported unusually high numbers of cases there, and now the U.S. is seeing more of the viral illness, too.
This year so far, the increase in cases has been up to 20%.
The CDC says some who are infected with the virus will have no symptoms. Others may have a fever, headache, cough, sore throat, rashes, and joint pain. It can also present itself as red splotches on the face, also called a slap cheek rash, but this symptom is more common in children.
It attacks bone marrow cells, primarily red blood cells, or the precursors to red blood cells. So it tends to cause anemia.
OBGYN Dr. Gregory John Locksmith with Orlando Health says pregnant people, especially those with no previous exposure to the virus, have a higher risk of serious complications.
1 out of 3 cases, the mother does transmit the virus to the baby. Most of those babies don't have problems, but a small percentage, maybe 10 to 20%, can develop severe anemia, which can ultimately lead to intrauterine fetal death.
There's no vaccine to prevent a parvovirus B19 infection, but since it can spread through respiratory particles, practicing good hygiene can help prevent the spread. Cover nose and mouth with a tissue or your elbow when you cough and sneeze. Properly wash hands and clean frequently touched surfaces. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. A very hot day in the Crossroads across the entire state, as a matter of fact. We're still at 99 degrees, and it feels like 109. Earlier, about 4 o'clock, we were up there at 111. So this is dangerous heat, and for tomorrow, we need to be very cautious. I'm going to say that the official high was 100 even, but as of now, that's the hourly, comes in at 99. That's above our average, and of course, we've been warmer than this, but shall we say, it was a different time. It was back in the 30s. There is some hope on the horizon, though, and I'll be talking about that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Everyone, temperatures again into the triple digits. We're looking at the current observation, which is right at 5 o'clock. So it's 99 up in Edna. We're looking at 100 in Cuero, 100 in Goliad, 99 officially, and that's of course on the hourly observation. These sometimes in the middle of the hour we can get up there, and I do believe that the high today will be at officially 100. But it's a hot day, and in fact, what was different from yesterday is today we went under an excessive heat warning. Okay, that means it's here, it's now, it's take caution or take precautions. Now we had a heat advisory here, but here is a heat warning. That means that be careful. This one means do something. And so we're doing something to try and stay everybody, make sure that they don't overstress themselves out in the heat. Look at that. It goes all the way up into North Texas and all the way down to the coastal areas where most of the state of Texas is under the gun. Now tomorrow we're still going to be in the triple digits. We're looking for 103 to eventually show up, and that's why we do have the heat warning for tomorrow. Now this is important, and so if you're going to be outdoors doing anything, just keep this in mind. Stay hydrated, get breaks, limit strenuous activity, check on people who may not have air conditioning. And if you're really feeling a little dizzy or woozy, just go to some place that has a little bit of cooling, public building, and just sort of walk around and cool down, or even take a nice cool shower. That's going to help. Now we'll talk more about that in a minute. Ernesto, no longer a problem. Ernesto is now a an open low is what we call, and it continues drifting across the North Atlantic. It may actually bring some rain to Ireland, believe it or not. But Ernesto, look at the path. It came all the way around, and that is the actual path of circulation of the winds around. Now, if you studied Columbus seriously, you would know that he came off of Spain, went down off the African coast, caught the easterly trade winds, and that's why he wound up in the Caribbean, okay? But then he came up to the East Coast and caught the same westerly trade winds back to Europe. So that was when they figured out how the wind pattern was flowing across the Atlantic, and of course that made a big difference. All right, the dome, but watch this, okay? Here's Tuesday, hot, very hot Wednesday, very hot Thursday. And then on Friday, something happens because we have a dome out in the Atlantic and a dome here. And so that creates a little, what we call a call, a COL, or a weakness between the two. But that is where we're expecting a little area of low pressure to develop and then slide toward the Texas coast. It would be a natural thing for the wind to bring it in this direction. This area of low pressure, this is on Monday, Tuesday of next week, will allow us to get some shower activity, and will also lower our temperatures back to the mid-90s, which would be pretty exciting, huh? So, brutal day tomorrow. If you're going to be outdoors, just do it early or do it late. Middle of the day, just sit on the couch. Otherwise, in Cuero, we're looking for about a 101. And of course, it's a heat index. That'll get you. It's not so much the temperature. We went ahead and put alert days for both of these two because we expect that they will put up an excessive heat warning again for Wednesday and Thursday with the high temperatures up there. Then on Saturday, you'll see a little bit more cloud cover. On Sunday, you'll have a shot at rain. Monday and Tuesday, 3 days of showers around here. Wouldn't that be delightful? So we'll be hoping for that because we sure could use a break. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. And we'll toss it back to Don.
Mac, thank you. And coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, why Harley-Davidson is dropping its diversity initiatives. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow down 62 points. The S&P 500 down 11 points, and the Nasdaq down 60 points. Oil down 55 cents, closing at $73.82 per barrel. Boeing 777X has hit another snag. Tests were paused due to structural issues. The company says a component between the engine and wings did not perform as expected. Engineers are working on a fix and will resume testing, according to them, when ready. Billed as the world's largest and most efficient twin-engine jet, the 777X, originally set for a 2020 launch, has faced many delays. This new issue may push back the 2025 revised launch date adding to Boeing's ongoing safety and quality concerns. Harley-Davidson says it is dumping its diversity policies and initiatives. Harley-Davidson also plans to end its relationship with a leading LGBTQ+ advocacy group. The company had been facing online pressure from conservative activist Robbie Starbuck. In July, Starbuck said he was going to expose Harley-Davidson after it had, quote, gone totally woke, unquote. Harley-Davidson, in its own post, said social media negativity over the last several weeks has aimed to divide its community. Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a 9-year-old is breaking records as a golf prodigy. And now here's a look at what's coming on World News Tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, the torch now passed. Day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. Former First Lady Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama make the case for Kamala Harris. David Muir in Chicago. World News Tonight with David Muir as America's most watched newscast.
Song written for this young man, Me and Charlie McGee. 9-year-old golf prodigy Charlie McGee has achieved more than most golfers dream of. With over 90 trophies, Charlie is already one of the top junior players in Mississippi golf history. He started learning golf at just 3 years old and began competing at 6. Recently, 3, yes. Isn't that amazing?
Isn't he in diapers?
No. I tell you, he placed in the top 10 at the 2024 World Championship at Pinehurst. He advanced to the 3rd round of the drive, chip, and putt junior competition. If he wins, he'll compete for the championship at Augusta National, home of the Masters. Doing well at Pinehurst, doing well at Augusta National. Those are some really fancy golf courses.
Those are the fancy golf courses.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What tips do you have, Mac, for people who want to go play golf in this kind of weather?
Get an air-conditioned cart, and that will, have they made those? You haven't made those.
I haven't been in one of those. It's air-conditioned if you're driving fast.
Well, if you're driving fast, and probably you're going too fast, it's nice and cool, but they should invent those things.
They should.
And in the back of the golf cart, it's kind of a to pour some nice drinks, something.
Yes.
Why haven't they figured
Lovely
that?
beverages, yeah.
I'm going to invent that. Anyway, folks, it's just going to be too hot for a lot of outdoor activities. So all I say is get out there early, 8 o'clock tee time. That's That's what.
That's
you
not
should do.
bad. That's
That's
not
what
bad.
you should
Yeah.
do. You can get in and play 9 holes because 18's crazy. Otherwise, very hot next 2 days, and then there's hope on the horizon as we possibly will have some shower activity out here beginning over the weekend. So we'll be certainly watching that for you. Don?
And if you are out in the heat, stay away from any beverages that have caffeine or alcohol.
Oh, man.
That's true. Yeah, well,
Just-
Dr. Don calling.
Well,
All right, thanks
just
for
made
being
that
with us.
all up.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.